Here with a Marvel Contest of Champion video. This is the December 2K tier list, man. Let's get it. Let's get right into it with no disclaimers and no intros. We just gonna get to it. Here we go. 2K tier list is an easier format rather than grouping champions into demigod tiers and different types of charts. Let's give them a more accurate rating, something where you can move them up and down from month to month much easier, more seamless. So as you can see here, we have all our 6 class groups. Let's get right into it. We're starting with Hercules, the god of all gods. The one above all else is Herc. He's 99. And reminder, this tier list is rated from 99 to 50. From 50 being the low, 99 being your god of all gods. There's your guy, Hercules. Full-blown rating all the way at the top. Best champ in the game. No questions about it. Just seamless to play. And that's what it is. So if you have a champ that's difficult to ramp up or is challenging to use his moves and understand how to use the character, a lot of people will shy away. And you know, some people who learn to use those champs, they'll do phenomenal. But if the majority of the gamer is not using that champ or ranking those champs up, then you know it'd be tough to give them a rating a 90 or higher. Talking about champs like Quake and stuff like that, who most of the game, I mean, most people don't want to admit, but they do not know how to Quake. Let's face it, maybe, I would say definitely 75% of the game does not know how to Quake, but we'll get to the science class in a moment. Hercules Gallon's moving right up to the top. He's at a 93 right now. Actually, we have to make an adjustment here in a minute, but Corvus Glaive, Cosmic Ghost Rider, and Corvus Glaive, both for the 93. And if you see a champ that has both the same rating, a 93, 93, they're the same. Don't think Corvus, CGR is higher than Corvus Glaive or vice versa. If they have the same rating, they're the same. Even if it's 1 or 2 points, give or take, it's not a big deal. I can see people arguing saying, why is Hyperion a 92? He should be a 95. Like, that's a waste of an argument in a sense. If 92, 93, depending on who you are and how much we use the champ and the meta that keeps shifting in the game, he's still over 90. He's still a god tier. He's still whatever tier you want him to be. He's in the highest group possible. He's still part of the top 20 of all champs or top 25 or top 10 or whatever it may be. So, you know, arguing that, that's like the Kevin Durant argument. If you watch basketball where he got a 96 in 2K and he's arguing he should be a 99 and stuff like that. It's just petty. It's just petty. But moving along, you got Hulkling who, wow, man. I mean, I just started using this champ and this dude should be, man, he could easily be a 95, 96, but he's on his way up. As you can see, the arrows right there. Same with Gallon, but Gallon doesn't have immunities. At least this dude right here is poison and shock immune. And man, his buffs, just phenomenal stuff. Null, commonly the war boss in top tier wars, and he's just hard to take down. If you don't have a specific counter, which would be right now Wiccan, and we'll get into that in a moment. But back to Null, he's up there. He's the man. He's not like most Cosmics because he does not gain buffs and stuff like that, but he's an armor break demon. All right, next, Angela. We already know what she's about. And if you don't, 89, strong 89, 90 champ. Got to sig her up to 200 if you can. If she's not sigged up, she's still pretty solid. She's got the buff. She's got the damage. She can counter a lot of nonsense like Havocs and stuff like that. King Groot is just an absolute beast. Don't sleep on him. A lot of champs like King Groot, like they have bad stigmas, kind of like Colossus. There's a bunch of champs like that get buffs and turn phenomenal, but their stigma is so disgusting that you might never want to rank him up. I didn't never want to rank up King Groot. I swear. He was so good. I left him at rank 2 forever. It was surprising I even took him to rank 2 after I saw, but now I got him at rank 3 because he's just crazy. Venom, we know he's an absolute beast. Arcus, I mean, I can see people arguing right now. Same argument. 87 is a very, very strong rating. You got to think 75 is the low end, and 75 is not even the low end. 75 is a middle of the road champ. The average champ is right in between 50 and 99, and would still be a good, I wouldn't say good, but a mediocre, a C player that has some uses. that could be very useful in some cases, or could suck in some cases, or could get demolished. But they're middle of the road, and look at how many champs we have in the 80s. So we have quite the rating here. So I could see someone arguing saying this guy should be a 90, a 89 or something, but it could be viewed as petty. And again, you have to think on a larger scale, not just your account, but widely. Does everyone want to rank this champ? Does everyone use this champ? Are they used in various contents? Are they used in a war, in wars, in alliance quests? Like Corvus Glaive is brought to almost every alliance quest because he doesn't die. And now, of course, that's been taken over by the god of all gods, obviously Hercules. But that's why those champs, their ratings could never really go down too much. These champs just provide so much utility in an alliance quest and all over throughout the game. So moving on, Cersei, we know she's a demon on defense, and has offensive utility. We've seen her in being a good go-to champ in Eternity of Pain. And Eternity of Pain is causing a lot of champs here to fall into the meta. But I mean, if it's just one fight and never again, they'll still be out of the meta to some degree. It's nice to pull out like an X23 the other day and try to take down Scorpion or something like that. But I mean, and it's not even that nice, but I mean, I see their point, and that's what Kabam wants us to do. And everyone's, let me rank 2 or let me bring up a 5-star or something like that. I wouldn't do it for one fight. I'd rather boost the life out of the champ or just use someone else with several revives. Like I just use Red Hulk with a few revives, and just instead of ranking up an X23, I'm not going to do that. Like I've seen some people do that with some of these other champs. Anyway, moving on, Captain Marvel movie 87. Odin on his way up. Gore's on his way up. He's atrocious with suicides on though. This guy's immune to willpower and just horrific. He just starts dying right away. But other than that, the guy he's great. There's a lot of uses. The amount of debuffs he could place is just crazy. So check him out. Medusa OG. She kind of fell out the meta, but she still got that armor shat, armor break. She's still top tier in that sense. She's got a strong 85. Silver Surfers right there. Ronan, he's a cheese god when you can use him. What he could do with these buffs, with cleaning off buffs on people and stun locking them, is just immense. And that comes around so much more often than not. So every time an act content comes out, act 8 point whatever, this dude is got some lanes that he could just bust everybody up. Some special fights, some bosses that might appear, you could just stun lock them with Ronin. So that's why you can't really lower his rating. These guys just useful. He's worth the rank up many times. Gamora 83, she's got the buffs. Thor, one of my favorites. He could easily be going up. Icarus, someone could probably argue he could be better, but again, I mean, are you using them every day in Alliance Quest? No. Are you bringing them to war? I probably bet you're not. He's probably sitting on defense, which is good, and he's a good champ. 80, still a good rating. Proxima Midnight, she's on her way up. I already know I know it's been tough, but she is gonna be a beast. We could tell, like, now that there's health pools in these high health pools, 7 stars, new content coming out, and these content don't have a damage cap like the goddamn LOL and all that shit, that they need to take those damage caps off. But she'll be able to be opened up much more. Recently, I could see it coming. So she's on her way up. Terex Heimdall, Hela, Annihilus, Silver Scroll, Venom the Duck doesn't matter anymore. Champion is on his way up. He could be rated higher. Phoenix used to be useful in map 7, but not so much anymore. Kamala Khan, Symbiote, Black Bolt, Cull Obsidian. All right, so you could see here. Then you got the trash like Thanos that needs a buff. OG Iron Man. Superior, and whoever these people are. Moving on to mutant class. Apocalypse, god of all gods. His greatest strength is also his greatest weakness, which is the synergy with. Having to have that one other person as a synergy, he doesn't have to, but man, he's just such a animal. He makes him what he is. Of course, when he's paired with Cable, we already know when Cable is now paired with him, he's also falls off a lot. So if you have to do like an Eternity Pain fight with only one champ, they're just so much less useful. But what he can do to mutants and demolish them is a phenomenal thing. Much like how Nimrod could do some stuff. Kitty Pryde, man, probably second best in the game. She does have a couple of small weaknesses, which makes it tough, to rate these champions super high. But man, when she's the cheese queen, man, I mean, man, what can I say? Magneto, God of all gods, a true beast, still has that power over metal. Archangel, we know, could even be rated higher than Magneto. He's all the way back in the game. He's an absolute beast. Colossus still strong, falling off a little, but still strong. Namor's bouncing back real nice. Omega Red has been hurt by long range specials. We used to have just short specials, a couple of slashes, but now that everyone's throwing these Dragon Man styles, lengthy special attacks, the spores can't stay on them. So that's why Omega Red has completely fell off and not been used almost at all or talked about almost at all. But man, if you go back to use this guy and you see how he heals and how he can obliterate champs at times, he's still the man. He used to also be a Alliance Quest war guy, not so much a war anymore. What else do we have here? You got White Magneto on his way up. He's a beast. You got Domino's bouncing back. Weapon X because of the Cyber Monday offers. This guy is showing up everywhere, and he's a beast on defense. Sunspot could be on his way down a little bit, but he's still useful. He can, with his perfect parries and some of that stuff and his quick damage, he could be a boss. Toad is on his way up. He's killing shit. Strife, again, too much difficulty and usefulness. I would say Prof X is probably better than Strife. But again, on suicides, really, really bad. Not someone you would bring to, like, I would say, he's not in all form of content can you use Prof. But again, the difficulty in using him is gonna shy away a lot of people. If it's not a widespread champ that everyone could agree is top tier, you might say, oh, this guy's the best thing because you know how to use him in the skill level that it requires. You might have it. But if other people don't have it throughout your alliance and throughout the game, then how could he be in the 90s? Or he could easily be a 95, if it was easier to use, if he had better ease of use. Anyway, moving on. Storm on her way up. Bishop, a beast. Strife is the same thing. Sauron, 5 stars. Ugh. I don't even mean to make that sound, but Wolverine, Quake, Magic, because they're only available as 5 stars, they fell out of the meta. Still great champs. Once the 6 stars come out, they'll be fine. Betsy here is pretty strong if you ramp her up. Iceman, he needs to make a comeback maybe. Pyramid X, Havoc Rogue, going down the list. You can see all these 70s. Average run of the mills. Deadpool. Sinister's pretty decent. Goldpool. Dead Red, Platinum Pool with that speed kill, he has that usefulness, so he'll have a decent grade over the other guys. And then, Beast probably the worst in the game. Tech, Ghost, God of all gods. She does have difficulty, but she's really that good. Now you have more champs in the game that can handle some of the content that she used to be the only one who could handle it. Some people don't know how to play her, let's face it. But she's really that good, so we got to give her props as the best. Tech, Warlock, absolute beast. Omega Sentinel, Nimrod on the catch up here. Ultron, God of all gods, killing that. Crush that Kang boss with this guy. Still ain't beat all your Kangs, man. Look into Ultron. Infamous Iron Man's on his way up. HB's a beast. Guardian, Sammy Wilson, he could be up there. Guillotine, I don't like Guillotine 2099 personally, but I gotta give her love. Nebula, War Machine. So a ton of 80s champs, and you can see these are all great champs. These are all good into great into phenomenal. And you got a long list from 80 going up. And in the middle of the road coming down, Darkhawk ain't saying nothing. Vision OG. The original Vision is much better than, I see a lot of tier lists saying both Visions are just together. Age of Ultron Vision is not as good as regular Vision. The one you have to pay for, like that Vision is much better. I mean, he's got a few points on him here, but he's much better. Civil Warrior, trash, even after the buff. To be determined on these new champs, Shuri and these guys. We'll get into them next month. Vulture, Kang, Yondu, Psycho Man, and the Garbage Pail Kids right there. Science Class, Human Torch, Beast of all beasts, 2099. Scorpion on his way up, fantastic. Beardo still a beast with the synergies and 200 sig. Without the sig, he's still good. Spider-Ham's God. That man, he gets you. He really could get you. You know what I'm talking about. Hulk Immortal still good. because he can nuke the life out of you. He can take down hundreds of Ks of health pools, and he's the man. Quicksilver, crazy damage. Red Hulk, beast. She-Hulk, beast. Man, with Battlegrounds, this guy's killing it right now. Void always must have for every account except for Suicide players. That's why I never ranked them up. Titania's up, go on her way up. Negative. You know what he could do. Morales, specialty guy, great. Overseer, some people, he could be higher. I gotta give him his props. He could be on his way up. Thing is on his way up again. Getting back into meta. EOP, not EOP, but Battlegrounds. Quake, we already talked about. Luke Cage in the monthly content. Still a beast. Spider-Gwen, Spots on his way up. Wasp. Fix It has some utility. This guy's pretty good. We have to go through all of them. Anti-Venom, some people could argue. Mcoc, Electro, the Garbage Pail Kids down here. These guys at least these guys can block. That's why they're not in the 50s. But there's no content where you need to just block. So it is what it is. And then I hate this guy here. These guys should be much better at Guardian. Not much use. Except he doesn't gain he doesn't gain buffs. That's his one use. Dr. Doom, Beast of all beasts. Rintra on his way up. Tigra. See, these are the people taking over. Clairvoyance kind of sliding down. Mystics that do mystics that nullify are on their way down because they just don't. They're taking away nullify in every situation. And now neutralizes where it's at. That's why Rintra's so good, even though he has so much other things he could do. Offense and defense. He's a two-way player. Tigra, crazy. She's the one to take down these Hulklings, Gores, and all these idiots that, with her neutralized, she'll just clean them right off. Clairvoyant can't. It's still, man, Clairvoyant is still a god. Don't even bat an eye because it's a 91 or a 90 on Diablo. But just know that, they won't be a 95 right at this moment, but they could bounce back later. Hood, boom, on his way up. Wiccan, beast, killing nulls everywhere. He's weak though. Just watch him, and you got to learn the play style. So that could hinder him slightly. And he's glass cannon, Juggernaut, beast, double on his way up. Simian Supreme, Scarlet, Dragon, all these 80s. So you got tons of 80s. You got a serious set of middle of the road champs here that have usefulness. Voodoo could bounce back. Spidey Supreme. Mystic Spider, we could also call him. Chavez, defensively. And then the horrible ramp-up of Morningstar. Man-Thing, great on defense. Morningstar's ramp-up probably the worst in the game yet still. If not, a couple new champs might be giving her a run. But I used her to kill the champion when the champion first came out. But to ramp her up is just ungodly. And if on Suicide, she can't even be ramped up. It's impossible. Mcoc, still got some. Dormammu, middle of the road. Mordo needs to be higher than this, probably an 80. Ghost Rider, OG. Loki could steal your buff still. There's a few uses for that. Purgatory, been pretty decent. Battlegrounds. Garbage. Kingpin, Beast of all beasts. Nick, Mole Man still strong even after the buff. Valkyrie on her way up, killing stuff. Shang-Chi, boom, he's the man. Hitmonkey, Falcon, Widow, Deadly Origin on her way up. Black Cat on her way up. Massacre. Aegon, you know what he's about. Killmonger, still a beast. Misty, Blade's on his way up. He could crush Gallon. Now look, he could get these Gallons taken down now. So he's going to be on his way up. They put some crazy... we're going to see. We'll see. Elsa, Jabari. This guy's on his way up. Agent V. HK, Hell Kitchen. Stealthy's right there. A lot of these little 80s champs, they're niche. These guys are niche. This is niche right here, actually. Like these Thrasher and Taskmaster and these niche champions, they're just not widely used. But they have some uses if you could kind of work with them. Korg, defensive beast. He's been a nightmare for us all. Widow needs to bounce back. Elektra, Moon Knight to me is one of the absolute worst, but at least he can make you bleed. And then Hell's Kitchen. I mean, not Hell's Kitchen, but DD Classic. Another one of the top 5 absolute worst. And there you have it. That's it, guys. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Let's chop it up. And there we go. Boom. I'm out.